You're watching Saxon TV.
Welcome to this week's episode of Saxon TV. Salem's one and only Nightmare Factory is back. Visitors will be able to walk through the famously haunted house that is crazy frightening. Students, staffs, and volunteers of Oregon School of the Deaf will be putting on the event October 15th through the 21st and the 23rd through the 26th. Open weekdays from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. and weekends from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m.
General admission is $10, but you can gain almost immediate entry with the Fast Pass line, which costs $15. For $40, you can participate in Mr. Booger's ride, in which he straps you in his wicked wheelchair for the ride of your life. It will be just you, Mr. Booger, and the creatures of the Nightmare Factory. Here's Eric with the weather.
Thanks. For this week's weather, the highs are going to be in the low 60s and the lows in the mid 50s. Wednesday through Sunday is going to be partly cloudy with 20% chance of rain, but hopefully we'll be seeing sun more than anything else. Now for the Saxon football forecast. This Friday night at Bennett Field, varsity team will be playing against McKay at 7 o'clock. Be prepared for some showers, and the highs and lows are going to be in the mid 50s. My prediction for the game is a 6-21 Saxon win. Make sure to come out and support your team. Back to you.
Thanks, Eric.
On September 5th, Five Guys Burgers and Fries opened and has been a big hit. With their burgers and their touchscreen soda dispenser with choices of over 100 different types of flavors and a meal you can't miss.
Bowman's Farm is located in Jervis, Oregon. It has been voted the best pumpkin patch in the Willamette Valley, with fun activities going on from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturdays and from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. They will open the farm up on Sundays starting October 25th.
And now Travis with sports.
Welcome to this segment of Saxon Sports. I'm Travis Samuels, and let's kick it off to last Thursday night's football game at McNary. South got its first win of the season, and David Mason accounted for all South side, scoring for a second quarter safety as the Saxons went on to win Thursday night in a victory of 21-13. Mason rushed for 126 yards on 23 carries for 2 scores and kicked 2 field goals for the Saxons. Mason opened the scoring with a 72-yard touchdown in the first. Shortly after, Justin Burgess scored from a yard out for the Celtics to tie the game, but Mason responded with a 1-yard touchdown run of his own, and South led 13-7 after 1 quarter. After getting a safety and a 20-yard field goal by Mason, the Saxons led 18-7 at halftime. The deficit was cut in the fourth quarter to 18-13, but the Saxons held on Mason's 23-yard field goal shown here in the dying seconds of the game to close the scoring. In other sports, volleyball took on North Tuesday and lost in 4 sets to decrease their record to 5-11 overall and 4-4 in league play. They play McNary tomorrow. Both boys and girls soccer teams had strong showings yesterday against McNary. The boys won 2-0 and the girls won 3-0. The girls remain undefeated in conference play with 7 straight shutout wins, and the boys moved to 4-3 in conference play. That's it for this week. Now back to you guys.
Thanks, Travis.
In response to the Occupy protests in major cities such as New York and Portland, a much smaller group of citizens braved the rain and cold at Salem's Riverfront Park on Tuesday to discuss numerous issues such as the economy, putting an end to high gas prices, unemployment, and other important national issues such as health care and the state of the American economy.
In light of the recent protests across the nation, the Occupy Salem protest took place on Monday with an estimated of 250 marchers and protesters meeting on the front steps of the Capitol building, giving speeches and current events of the economic state and other issues. The group marched down State Street into Riverfront Park and then doubled back to the Capitol, where some protesters set up a camp in the nearby Wilson Park.
And last but not least, here's Lily with an interview.
I'm Lily Gordon from Saxon TV, and here with me today is South's new assistant principal, Artonia Gamel. Thank you for meeting with me today.
You're welcome.
To begin, what's your role here at South?
Well, here I am an assistant principal, and I work primarily with our freshmen and sophomore students.
And you worked previously at West. Coming to South, has anything been difficult, easier, and have your loyalties changed?
Well, I still struggle a little bit with my loyalties because I was at West for a while. And I think just kind of getting to know kids all over again sometimes can be a little bit of a challenge, because at my previous place of employment at West, you know, I got to know the kids really, really well. And so
Yeah, I
it's just
bet.
kind of starting all over. It's like kind of being a first year administrator all over again
Yeah.
because it's a totally different place.
Yeah. Who do you root for at the football games?
Well, of course, I have to root for Sal.
Before you became an administrator, you had to be a classroom teacher, I understand.
Yes.
What subjects did you teach?
Well, I was actually a special education teacher at the high school level, so I worked with EGC students.
Okay.
And I also taught regular ed and elementary special ed as well.
For some of the high schools, they've had some controversy because they've been intervening when cyberbullying happens. This happens outside of the high school. Do you think there's a time when it's okay for the high school to be intervening with outside bullying and when it's not?
I think definitely when it affects how the kid performs at school, I think that's sometimes when I think the schools definitely need to step in, because just because it happens outside of school doesn't mean that it doesn't affect the student when they're at school, especially when it is another classmate that's doing the cyberbullying. So just because it happens outside of the classroom doesn't necessarily mean that we don't deal with it. We really try to help students feel safe at school, and I think it's important for kids to be able to feel like they can walk down the hallways or go into their classrooms or just be a student without having that fear of someone threatening them or bullying them.
In high school, the theme of going to college or what you're going to do next is always there. Do you have any advice for students what to do next after high school?
Well, I think it's important for you to kind of figure out what things you're interested in. Not every student wants to go to college, and I'm not saying it's wrong if you don't. I think if your path is, I really want to go to college, I think you do your best, do what you can to get there. Research, know what you need, you know, what grades you need to get in order to get into college, but also if there's you just want to go right into the workforce. I don't think you have to go to college, but I think it's important to think about your future after high school, and if college is it, go for it. If it's, you know what, I'd rather go into the workforce, go for that.
Well, it's been a pleasure getting to know you, and I hope you have a positive experience here at South. I'm Lily Gordon, and this is Saxon TV.
Thanks, Lily.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of Saxon TV.